Peace and blessings, and welcome to Stendy Farms. So my husband and I, his name is Steven, my name is Wendy, created this property. That's why it's called Stendy Farms. We cleared land this year. We bought this renovated log cabin, and we're in the process of renovating it. So we had some property and he cleared the land. We didn't have a tractor this year, so we had to do it by hand. So it has been a lengthy process, but I want to show you what's growing. Come with me. So these are my rows. I have some beans growing in here and also some corn. Some of the plants that I have, I brought along with me from Pennsylvania when we moved last year. So I have an olive tree here. This is my olive tree. And next to it, I have some dill that's not coming up quite yet. And this is a little bit of thyme. It looks like some marjoram there. And I have also some borage that's not coming up. But this is oregano here. And I also have a lime tree. This is my only raised bed that I have, but these are my lettuces. And in here I also have some beans, but it's a variety of different lettuces. I have some mixed greens in here. I have some spinach and arugula, and around the edges I planted onion. So these are different varieties of onion, these small plants here. And I think this is Spanish onion there. I have some walla, I'm sorry, not walla. And then some red onion and so on and so forth. This bed is melons. So as it stands right now, I have one melon plant. Let me show that to you. This is the only melon plant that I have coming up. And I planted things on the periphery so that I'm going to put a tarp in the middle and have the melons kind of meet in the middle. That's the plan, so we hope that that works. I have some bee balm on the edge here. This is the bee balm. It's looking pretty good. That's one of my favorite medicinal herbs. And on this side, I have a lime tree and a bare lemon tree here. And these trees I planted in the ground last year. When we got here, we didn't have any source of heat in the house, so I didn't have any place to put these trees, so I put them in the ground, and I put them next to the house to see if the wind, would not hit them. And they didn't do too well, to say the least. They didn't do too well, but thank God they came back. I had 7 citrus plants that were planted down there, and 5 of them survived, came back. So I was thankful for that. And I pulled them out this year and I put them in pots to take in the house. This was a grapefruit. You can see it's starting to bud. And this one is a orange tree. And I'm not sure what type of oranges those are. This one also I bought. This was a sick plant I bought from what was this? One of the box stores. And I'm just seeing if I could nurse it back to health. I have some grapes here. Some grapes on this side of my trellis. And over here, this is a black cherry. This tree here, watch that. You don't want to step in that. This tree is a black cherry, and I had some problems with ants, and I sprayed it with neem, and I think I burnt it, so I have to be careful. Probably I have too much neem solution in that water, so I have to adjust that. And then I have teepees, watch that. I have teepees here. This one I have some snow peas. It's a little late in the year for them, but the land hadn't been cleared, so this is the time that we planted. So let's see what happens. I hope it's not too hot. And then I have some other types of beans on the other side. Let's walk over here. I have cucumbers on this TP, which haven't come up yet. And then on the third teepee, I have melons, like tiger melons and things like that that are planted over there. I plant everything basically from seed. I try to, you know. One thing when I garden is really important to me is not to rely so much on the box stores. My philosophy is I'll buy it one time, and I usually buy it when it's on sale, like, you know, at the end of the season. I'll buy a tree and I'll buy it once and then I propagate. Okay, I as a gardener am trying to be more self-sufficient, so I don't want to run to the box stores buying soil, buying plants, you know, relying on them, because I'm a consumer. That makes me a consumer, and I want to have my garden you know, propagate itself in many ways. All right, so these are my raspberry plants here. I have one blackberry. This is a blackberry here, and that's a new plant, so that is just taking off now. And as you can see, the canes are coming up, and I got some flowering, so that means I'll have fruit this year. So I'm happy about that. And on this side, I have a this is a kiwi. This is an Arctic kiwi. You can go down to like minus 10 degrees. And I've had this plant for probably 4 years. And I brought this from Pennsylvania when we moved down here. And it's doing good. It's doing good. I think I'm going to get some fruit this year. These look like little buds. I believe they are. I don't know. We'll see. And then I have another black cherry on this side of that little trellis over there, a fence. So I wanted to show you too, when we cleared the land, you know, it's really important that trees are sacred. So we use every part of the tree. Some of the beds, as you can see, are the trees that we took down. And then if you look over here, this fence, it's a hedge fence, is all of the branches from the trees that we took down as well. And I'll show you, we have some trees that we're using for, you know, wood for the fireplace. And then the trees down there, we're gonna have them lumbered so that we'll have, you know, planks, and my husband will be doing some furniture. And hopefully, he'll put some videos up of the things that he's doing to the house and the furniture that he's making as well. This bed right here, I have a fig tree that came with me. I brought this up from Pennsylvania. You can see something is snacking on it. I'm gonna have to probably spray that. And I have some, this is kale, which isn't doing too well. I gotta figure this out. I think I need to thin it out and kind of space it a little bit better. This year I packed things really tightly because I'm experimenting. Instead of doing foot gardening, I'm doing inch, and I'm seeing how much I can grow in a small space like this. So I have some beets on this side, and this is a comfrey plant. Generally what I do with comfrey is I use this as fertilizer, and I'll show you what I do with that to water, fertilize other plants. And I have some spaghetti squash. I have some lavender here. Let me show you this. This is the lavender plant. And usually for me, lavender is perennial, but it only lasts 2 years. So we'll see. I'm in a different environment, so we'll see how that works out. And I have some Swiss chard that's coming up, some okra that hasn't started yet, but well, I see something. I see some plants coming up. Yeah, this is the okra. This is the okra coming up, so that's a good thing. So we'll see how that fares out. This bed here is my strawberry patch, and these are very small strawberries. These are growing. These are starting to spread too. They have little I forget what you call those things, but they're starting to spread out. And then I have a row here of red tomatoes, potatoes and white potatoes, garlic, and then these are my asparagus plants. I do have some plants in here that are at least 4 years old, but I didn't get an asparagus harvest this year because they were too small. You can't pick asparagus until they're bigger than a pencil. And so I didn't get any that were bigger than a pencil. So hopefully next year. All right. On this side, I have my pumpkin patch. And I have a few plants that are coming up. These are pumpkins, different varieties. I have 4 down there, actually 5, that are starting to come up. So we'll see. I tried to give them ample room so that they can kind of spread down, cascade down this hill right here. And then I have some carrots that I'm growing here in this, what do you call these things, the little cloth bags. And this is jicama, and I don't know if this is a jicama plant. It kind of looks like jicama to me, so I'm gonna leave it. But I do see something else coming up, so we'll see. We'll compare the two. Let's go down here so I can show you. Oh, I wanted to also show you too. This is my fertilizer, and I try, like I said, to be self-sufficient. So I don't want to keep going to the store buying fertilizers, buying this, buying that. So in this, I have some manure tea, and I take my comfrey leaves, and every now and then I'll just drop a few of them in there. And they are very high in different minerals and things, and it helps to fertilize my plants. So that's that. As we go down, I have some nettle over here, and nettle is probably one of my favorite wild plants. This is the nettle. You can see that some bee balm has taken a ride with it. This is the bee balm, that's the nettle. And when I juice in the morning, I'll put some nettle in my juice. That's probably one of the most nutritious plants on the planet. We have some elderberry here. Elderberry, this plant came with me from Pennsylvania. I had 5 of them. This is the only one that survived. The first winter that we were here was 8 degrees. I was shocked. I didn't even think it got to be that cold in Georgia. But that was the only plant that survived. This one is a pawpaw plant. And I had 2 of them. You have to have 2 pawpaws. They have to propagate each other. But the other one died. So pawpaw grows naturally in the woods. So I'm going to have to do a walk through the woods and see if I see any other pawpaw trees. And if so, if they're close enough, they'll propagate this one. So we'll see. I have some blueberries here. As you can see, they're starting to get some fruit on them, and we should have a small harvest this year. Some of them are still very small trees, but they're doing good. They're doing good. They're doing good. This is a peach tree. I believe it's a Alberta peach. I'm not sure. But again, when I buy blueberry plants or these that I have bought, I buy them when they're on sale. I don't like to buy things that are that expensive. So yeah, I buy them on sale, and I buy them once. That's my philosophy. Buy it once and propagate. So I have some blueberry cuttings that I have in my greenhouse that I'm propagating right now. I have some fig trees down here. These are my figs. And they're doing well. They're doing well. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 figs down here, and then the one up top. So that makes 6. So I don't know if I'll get figs this year. I don't see any nubs yet. I don't see any nubs growing. So I don't know if I'll get figs this year, but we'll see. And down here, funny story, I met a woman at the dump who was dumping manure from her horses. And I said, oh, I said, you're getting rid of that? And she's like, yeah. I said, well, I have a farm, you know, I could come to your house and get the manure. She lives like 2 blocks over. She has a horse farm like 2 blocks over. And she said, sure. So, you know, it was so funny that I met her. I was able to get the manure. This is last year's manure that I've been using to fertilize my plants. And I let it sit for a year before I used it. And then I have manure from this year, which I have covered here. And I'm going to let that sit for the year. And then I'll, you know, uncover that and see if it's ready. It's broken down enough. This is my compost pile. And again, like I was saying, the trees are sacred. So the leaves I use to compost. So I have leaves in here. I have kitchen scraps. I even have some of the fire, you know, remains. What do you call that? Charcoal? I don't know. Anyway, so I did this. Oh, look at this. This is a some type of, it's either a squash or a it's probably a squash. We haven't eaten any pumpkin, so I'll pull that up and put that in my squashes. But that's coming up from the kitchen scraps that we have. That's cool. So I'm going to turn this probably today and see how that's doing. On this side, I have my trees. So I have 2 pear trees. I have a peach tree here. And in between, I have some mints. That's lemon balm. I have some lemongrass that hasn't come up yet. And I have some tomatoes. As you can see, they're small. Small tomatoes that are coming up. And this is sage. This is sage that's coming up. This is a sage patch. This is some Mexican mint over here, which is great. This is very strong mint. I love this in tea. It's very strong, very pungent. And this is an apple tree here. So up here, watch your step. In my family, it's traditional when someone passes on to name a tree or plant a tree in their honor. And this is my dad, Fred. And this is actually a graft. The bigger tree is back in Pennsylvania. And when we decided to move, I grafted this from that big tree. And it's doing good. I see there's a little bit of wilting on this. I'm going to have to probably just snip these off and see how it fares. But it's looking good. It's doing good. And this mullein here, this plant took a ride from Pennsylvania. And that is a very significant medicinal plant. So in 2020, when we had that outbreak, that was the plant that I used. I made tinctures out of this. And anytime I felt any congestion in my lungs or felt anything coming on, I would take the tincture. And that's some powerful stuff. That mullein really helped. I have some more mints. This is another pear tree. And as you can see, I got some pears coming in. I have some lovage, which is a plant. It's similar to celery. And that's coming up. And then this is some deadhead nettle. This is some purple deadhead nettle that is starting to break through. And some more tomato plants here. And this is another Alberto peach tree. That's a little on the small side, but it will begin to take root. And not take root, but grow. This is another graft. I had another big pear tree in Pennsylvania, and that one was named after my mom, Elmira. So this is an Elmira graft. Right now it's not doing so well. Hoping that the roots will establish and that it will start to bud soon. And again, another mullein plant. I have some apple mint all the way over there. That's coming up. And this is a, I think it's a plum. This is a plum tree. And this is a Granny Smith apple tree here. And one of my favorite mints, this is a chocolate mint here. Down here, it's a chocolate mint. Let's see what else I have. I have some rosemary growing over here. This is from cuttings. Herbs are so easy to grow from cuttings. They just need you. If you see a rosemary bush, if you take a few cuttings, just put them in water and let the roots establish, and then you can just plant them out. So that is coming up nicely. I have most of my squashes in here. I just have one plant so far that's coming up there. I need to wash that off. That looks a little nasty. And then I have some yams that I threw out here, trying to get strips to grow so that I can plant those as well. But nothing else yet is coming up in that bed. Let's see. What else? I have bee balm here, which is one of my favorite plants. That's looking pretty good. And I don't know if I talked about the lettuce. I talked about the lettuce, so that's that bed. And I have some different things that I've planted for the front yard. We're still working on the front porch and the, you know, front yard. I kind of want like a nice cottage garden, a cottage garden in the front yard. So these are some of the things that I'm waiting to come up. I have bluegrass, amaranth. I have lilac, different things that I'll be planting in the front yard. Then I have a few rows here with some more herbs that I use in the kitchen. This is oregano. I have some borage. That's not come up yet. This is marjoram. Let me smell it. No, I think this is something else. I don't know what that is. This is thyme. And then I have dill that hasn't, oh, the dill is coming up. See? That's dill. That's coming up now. This is an olive tree that came with me from Pennsylvania. And in these rows, I have some corn back here and some sunflowers. I have some beans over there. I don't know if I showed you the grapes on the trellis that's there. And again, these are plants that I'm doing in the front. So I have some sage, I have some ornamental bushes and some hostas. I have a plant that lamb's ear over here, which is, oh my God, this plant is so prolific. It will grow everywhere. This lamb's ear, but it's edible. You can actually use this in salads and things. Yeah, and then this plant here, this is special. This is called yellow root, and this is something that the ancestors prized. I mean, it was something that you had to go find in the woods. So I have some of it, and I will be planting this out, probably back here. I probably won't even put it in the front. I'll put it in the back. But this is a special plant to me. So that's basically it. Thank you for coming on my tour. I'm going to keep you posted on what's growing and different gardening tips. Sharing knowledge and information, I think, is important. Please save your seed. Anything that you eat, you know, should have a seed. You know, these seedless things that are being produced now have no flavor, and they're really not you know, the greatest thing for your health. So, you know, try to buy things with seeds. Save your seed. Plant your seeds. And I know some people say, oh, well, it doesn't turn out like the mother plant. So what? You know, when you have, things or situations in the world where, seed banks are being created in Arctic places and people are buying up farmland, you gotta start saving your seed too, and knowing that, one day it's going to be important to have seed. And be responsible. If you eat something with seed, throw that seed into the ground, wherever it is. Hopefully some of it will come up, So have a wonderful day. Get out in nature, get out in your gardens, and see you soon.